And welcome back to another episode of Tales from the Man Cave. I'm your host, Travis, and with me tonight, all the way from Shreveport, Louisiana, is Mr. Lane Crooks. Man, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great, brother. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. It's been a long week, but I put my 40 hours in, and I'm ready for the weekend.
Oh, I hear you. It has been a long week, but it's been a good week.
Yes, it has. So,
just ready for the weekend.
Yes. Now, I've been on a Metallica kick for the last 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
Luckily, I'm able to listen to music while I'm at work, so I've been listening to nothing but Metallica. So I've started out from like 1983 all the way up to 2016.
Oh, there you go.
And I figured, what better way to talk about it, than to do a podcast about it. And,
definitely.
And I figured you're a Metallica fan, you're an expert, so I figured I'd get you on the horn here, and we'll do a podcast.
Let's do it.
So,
I started listening to them about the time Injustice for All came out, and then I kind of went backwards after that.
Okay.
Their old stuff. So.
Now, the first song I ever heard from them was back in '97 when Reload came out.
Okay.
That was what was the name of the song? Oh, the Memory Remains.
Okay, gotcha.
It came out on a single, and I was at my friend's house, and he was like, "Dude, you got to hear this," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot," And he played it for me, and I was blown away because that was like the heaviest thing that I had heard at that time because I was only like 14, maybe 13 or 14.
Oh, there you go.
And then I started out with Reload, then I went to the Black Album.
Oh, that's a classic.
I went to that, and then what was it? I went back through the original four, the Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Injustice for All, and the Black Album.
Oh, yeah.
And then been a fan ever since '97. So
there you go. Oh man, Ride the Lightning. Let's see, Kill 'Em All, Master of Puppets. Oh, that's a good one.
That one is my favorite one. Master of Puppets is like hands down. That's my favorite album. I mean,
that is
from
I
Metallica.
Can see why.
Yeah. The way it was produced was just perfect. James Hetfield was starting to find his voice there.
Mm-hmm.
He started to find his voice, and it was a classic album,
It really was.
So, what was the very first song that you ever heard from him?
Let's see, it's kind of, I can't remember exactly. They didn't really hit the mainstream till Injustice for All came out.
Right.
So, probably one.
Okay.
I knew who they were before that, but I didn't really listen to them till then. Then I went backwards and heard Hit the Lights, Creeping Death. Oh, no, it wasn't. Let's see here. The early stuff, Sanitarium.
Yes.
And, of course, Cliff Burton's bass solo.
Yeah, what was it? Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth, whatever.
Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth. Still mind-blowing today, man. Let's see here. Oh, there's so many of them out there. But that's probably nothing else. And my mind's blank right now, but there's so many from that era.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I wasn't fortunate enough to have listened to them back then because my brother, my brother's 47, and he was into the more of the glam metal, like Poison and Rat and all that, the hair stuff.
I liked a few other songs, but I wasn't a huge fan.
Right. He was into the more mainstream stuff. Metallica was kind of off of his radar.
Oh, definitely.
So I didn't come into them until '97 or whatever. But I was blown away when the first time I heard it. I was like, "This is it,"
Oh, I can see why. I can definitely see why, because it is definitely amazing.
Okay, so who is your favorite bass player?
Of the three, Cliff Burton.
Okay.
Of the three of them, definitely. Robert is awesome. Jason, I think, was very underrated, but Cliff's still my favorite.
Jason was underrated. He was good on their original stuff. On his stuff.
Right.
When it came to the first 3 albums, he kind of struggled a little bit,
And the bass on Injustice, his bass is tuned so low in the mix, and I never understood that. I have that on my iPod actually.
Now on Holier Than Thou off the Black Album, it goes to just the drums and the bass, and it was perfect. That do 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 do. You know, it was something, you know, something along those lines. But I mean, that bass was thumping. You know,
it was, and the way it starts off, and it's amazing.
So definitely give him props. You know, because he had big shoes to fill.
He sure did. I mean, come on, you don't just step into those shoes. And the fans, I think they accepted him pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Eyes of the Beholder was good.
Mm-hmm.
From Justice. Harvester of Sorrow was
Harvester
good.
of Sorrow. That was a great one.
Oh man, was it ever?
I like the Frayed Ends of Sanity. That Oreo, Yoro. The whole Wizard of Oz thing. I loved it.
I know. Man, that was.
But yeah,
and Battery was good. Off of
Master of Puppets, yes.
But yeah, Battery was. But there's so many different areas. I mean, it's just so many different areas. You really can't pick just one.
You can't pinpoint just one song.
No, I can't.
Because
I'm trying to, but I can't.
You know, they started out very heavy, very fast, very nasty, and then
they start putting some more ballads into their music and kind of mixing it up. They're changing up time signatures. Just amazing what they do that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I like them.
Right.
They can go start off heavy, go slow, go back to heavy. It's just amazing. And I also like their album,
Death Magnetic.
Death Magnetic, yes.
That was an apology letter for Saint Anger. Yes.
Yeah.
I was about to go there. You know, what is your opinion on Saint Anger?
You know what? I don't despise it as much as a lot of the fans do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not that bad. The more I listen to it,
right?
It doesn't deserve all the backlash it got.
No, they caught a lot of flack for that.
A lot of flack, and I don't get it. I really don't.
I can appreciate it because, you know, they were trying to branch out and find new fans. But
and Lars's drums was a lot different sounding than the other albums.
That piccolo snare, that was horrible. It sounds like he was banging on a pot.
Yeah. And I hated it. Oh my goodness.
But
it was
after
dreadful.
you listen to it for a while, it's not that bad, you know?
Mm-mm.
I mean, you got to give it to
Very
them.
raw.
It's very raw. If I'm not mistaken, they pretty much recorded it all in like the same room. Is that right?
I think so. I think they all did, just all, if I'm not mistaken.
Because I know on one, I think it was Frantic. You can hear Lars, his snare rattling whenever they first start playing. You can hear it rattling.
Right.
So.
I think about that, but you're right.
Mm-hmm. Because it starts out da na 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 na, and you can hear it, you know, and I love that.
Oh, I did too. And it just, and you notice though, Kirk they told him that they didn't want to do any guitar solos on the album.
Right.
So you heard, which I thought was kind of, I hated it at first, but I thought, well, it was still a good album overall.
Right. It was unique.
Very unique.
So, let's fast forward to 2016 to Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Have you heard that one yet?
You know what? I haven't listened to a lot of it. I got to be honest with you. I haven't listened to a whole lot of it yet.
Well, you need to do yourself a favor and listen to it on Apple Music. I know you have that.
Yes, I do.
So listen to it tonight and tell me what you think about it later on.
Okay, I sure will, because I'm really curious to see. You know, I've read mixed reviews about it, and I've heard a little bit, but I haven't really haven't got to just soak it all in yet.
Mm-hmm. It's a super heavy, super fast album, and I love that about them. And James, his voice has gotten younger, if you can fathom that, you know?
Yeah, I could. He's a very underrated vocalist.
Yes, he is.
He is a really good vocalist.
They did a cover of Iron Maiden's "Remember Tomorrow,"
Mhm.
which was Paul Di'Anno from
Right.
that was their first lead singer from Iron Maiden. But he did that
I've
one.
heard of him, but I wasn't as familiar with him as I was Bruce.
Right. He did the first two albums, and then Bruce took
Okay.
over for Number of the Beast on up.
Oh yeah.
But I think James did a great job on Remember Tomorrow. There was one song on there, When a Blind Man Cries. I didn't like that one. It was too whiny, too mellow. So that was the
Right.
only song on the album that I actually despised.
I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out.
Like I said, do yourself a favor and check that one out. I think you'll be pleased with it.
You know, I love their album. Was it Garage Days?
Yes.
Their Garage Days. That stuff is amazing stuff.
Their
I
cover.
gotta admit, a lot better than the originals.
Their cover of Diamond Head's "Am I Evil" is one of my
Yeah.
favorite covers. I mean, it was
Oh man!
it was spot on.
Now I haven't heard the original, but I can't compare it. But I love that one.
It was I mean, it's spot on.
And you know what my favorite cover of that album is?
What's that?
Believe it or not, is their version of "Turn the Page."
That was a good one.
I hate to admit it, I liked it better than Seeger,
Really.
and that's hard to say.
You know, usually covers are harder to like than the originals.
Usually, but when first time I heard that cover, I was blown away by it. I could not believe the energy of that song. Man.
Now, have you heard the Metallica S&M album?
Yes, a little bit of it.
Okay. Now that one, see, believe it or not, I'm a fan of classical music.
I am too, actually.
I mean,
I don't pretend to know a lot, but I am a fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you the difference between Mozart and Chopin or whatever.
Oh,
but,
me neither.
But, you know, I can appreciate that kind of music.
Yeah.
And then when you mix it with heavy metal, it's heavenly.
Oh, it is. My goodness. You can't. That's some of the best music together you've ever heard. That was an amazing. You just can't beat that mix. Some people might think that mix doesn't go good together, but it's perfectly.
Whoever thought of that album, that concept, I mean,
is a genius.
They're geniuses, yes.
I mean, pure genius. I don't know who did it, but
that's one of my top three favorite live albums. I'm not a big live album fan, but it's Alice in Chains Unplugged, Metallica S&M, and Johnny Cash live at Folsom Prison. Those are my top three favorites.
Folsom Prison album. Oh, now you're talking another classic. Oh, we can talk about live albums like crazy, man.
Frampton Comes Alive. That's an honorable mention.
Frampton Comes Alive, definitely.
Yes. his cover of Jumpin' Jack Flash, I loved it.
That is probably one of the best live albums there ever was.
Like,
my favorite is still Allman Brothers Live at the Fillmore East.
Live at the Fillmore, right?
That is still my favorite live album. Creedence Clearwater Revival still did a great live album. Let me see what else. I'm sure there. The Who Live at Leeds.
Never heard that one.
It's a good album. The energy is really good on that one.
I'll tell you a good one is Megadeth's Rude Awakening. That
I have
was
to listen to that one.
That was awesome.
I'll have to listen to that.
Their version, the live version of Atul Amand, it gives you chills.
I will definitely listen to that one. But you know, there's a lot of classical and I think we talked about this the last time. A lot of classical rock, a lot of classical and metal that people just don't know about.
Yngwie Malmsteen, for instance.
But yeah, you know, it took me a while to get into it, but man, his stuff is amazing.
Yes, he's out there, but he's great.
Yeah, he is. He really is. Have you like Deep Purple?
Some of their stuff. I saw, was it Live at Montreux?
Probably so, because there is some footage of them playing with the live orchestra, and it is amazing to hear. I mean, amazing to hear. I'll have to send it to you sometime.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check that one out.
Richie Blackmore on there is just he is just amazing on it. Just to hear that.
Now Richie Blackmore also did Rainbow with Dio, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Okay,
Yes, he did.
that.
Now I don't know much about Rainbow, but I do know that he was with them with Dio.
Now Dio is another one that it kind of takes. He's an acquired taste.
Yeah, I was more of an Ozzy Sabbath fan than I was of Dio.
Mm-hmm. Now speaking of covers again, this is totally off the Metallica topic. But have you heard Stripers on the cover?
You know what? I think I have.
It's a bunch of covers of quote unquote secular music.
Yes.
They do.
I think I have. I think I heard it on Spotify, if I'm not mistaken.
They do Heaven and Hell by Sabbath.
Yeah. I have heard that one, yes.
And Michael Sweet can belt it out.
He sure can, Michael Sweet. Now, that's a group. They're, I've heard, I haven't seen them in concert, but I used to have all their albums on cassette.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get them over to CD, but now I do have them on Spotify, though.
Right. Now
and I love their stuff.
They have a new album coming out, or they have a new album out. Did you know that?
Yes, they do. I have heard it. I haven't listened to it, but I heard they have a new one coming out, or it might be already out.
Yeah, it's out, and I'm sure it's very controversial. The title of it, just because the name, and I'm going to say this, and this is the title of the album, but it's Goddamn Evil.
Yes, I have heard of that title.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say the GD bomb, but
yeah, but that's what it said. I'm thinking when I read it, I'm thinking, did it really just do that?
Yeah, but
I know what they're trying to say, but
right. And I'm sure that's the same as 1983's "To Hell with the Devil," right?
Exactly. Oh, that was a great album too.
Mm-hmm. Soldiers Under Command was a great album.
Oh, Soldiers Under Command. Oh, yes, it was. It sure was.
I don't think they've put out
I
don't think they've ever put out a bad album.
No, they really didn't. Against the Law, they kind of got a lot of. I think they did an album called Against the Law.
Yes.
And I think they got a lot of flack for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still, it was still good. After I listened to it online, of course, I didn't buy it back at the time. I just didn't. I thought no. But I'm talking about going back to Soldiers Under Command. My favorite song of there is probably, let's see here, Makes Me Want to Sing.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of that's a peppy tune.
Yes, it is very much. Reach Out is good.
Mm-hmm.
Surrender. I mean, the whole album was just great, and their version of the Battle Hymn of the Republic was awesome too.
To die for.
Yeah, very much so.
Going back to On the Cover by them, their version of Breaking the Law, because you said Against the Law, and it triggered something.
Oh, yeah, Breaking the Law.
But they do Priests Breaking the Law, and it's amazing.
Oh, I bet it is.
I just love that song anyway, because Beavis and Butthead. Beavis is going around the town going, breaking the law. So,
oh, that's funny.
So, I automatically love that song.
Right.
That's about all the time I've got for that one.
Okay.
We'll definitely get together again and
definitely, man,
and do this again.
Man, I sure appreciate you having me back home, man.
Hey, no problem. I appreciate you being on here with me.
Oh, you're quite welcome, buddy.
All right. Have a good night, man.
You too, man.
All right. Goodbye.